Hi everybody, I promised you more of these, and so here I am. I actually recorded this particular topic a few days ago and decided that it was too long. So it gave you more than you probably wanted to hear. But I wanted to talk a little about my daily routine because I've been asked this a few times lately. Yesterday I actually did a book signing in Boling, Texas, and some of the questions there revolved around this very topic. So I thought I'd come back and give you kind of the inside scoop. So my routine starts pretty early. I start at 4 a.m., which, pause for effect. Yeah, that's pretty early. I've always been an early riser. I always got up at like 5 a.m. every day, so getting up at 4 isn't really a big deal. It's an hour earlier, of course, but it's I don't know. It just doesn't feel too exhausting to me. I don't know why. 4 a.m. is a good time for me. So I've been doing that, and I've only been doing that for a few months. So it's not a forever. It hasn't been going on forever. But so I get up at 4 a.m. and I do my routine. I have a whole routine that's built around I do a Bible study in the mornings, and I shower, and then I'll typically end up doing dishes from the night before. But I also have this whole thing about I do daily affirmations where I write sort of my goals as a present tense affirmation, as if I've already accomplished it, or I'm very grateful for it. So I do this whole gratitude journal, and then I do affirmations about all my various goals, and then I do an actual journal where I write whatever. I mean, I write about whatever's going on. I write about the events of the previous day, or I write about what's coming up, or what I'm thinking about, or whatever. So I do that. It takes a big chunk of the morning, but it takes like an hour to do all that. I also do a little bit of meditation, so that kind of helps me get a little sort of focused and centered. And I'm about to add in exercise to that because I'm a hefty wordslinger, and I need to be less of a wordslinger, right? So anyway, so that's the biggest bulk of my morning routine before I actually start writing. And then I sit down and I open Scrivener and just start chunking words on the page. And some of that can be a little tough at times. Right now I'm working on a new book that is nonfiction. It's the 30-Day Author, and I'm creating a whole program around that, and it's designed to help people learn how to write a book in 30 days. And it's aimed mostly at the nonfiction crowd, guys who make their living from consulting or coaching or keynote speaking. So that's the target audience for that. That doesn't mean that the techniques won't work for everybody. I do address fiction in the book so far. So if you're looking to be a fiction author, that might be something you might be interested in. If you're looking to just be able to write a book in 30 days, no matter what it is, check it out. I think it's going to be cool. Keep looking on my website at kevintumlinson.com. You'll find information about that as it gets closer to completion. So I plan on expanding that into a whole program. I want to create a course around it that people can take in case they, a series of videos so that they can learn about this stuff without necessarily having to read the book. Although I want to encourage you to read the book. But writers should be readers, okay? That's just the rule. Other than that, that's my routine. Once I start writing, I write usually for 2 to 3 hours. I have a word target, and it usually takes 2 to 3 hours to hit it. Sometimes a lot faster. My daily word target is I generally aim for 3,000 words, 3,000 to 3,500 words. Though I have a minimum that I set that I must hit. So no matter what my day's like, I got to hit 1,500 words. So because that comes from basic math, by the way, because if I'm going to write a book that's in the 50,000 to 70,000 word range, at a minimum I need to write 1,500 words a day to hit that target in 30 days. So if you want to hit it faster, which I generally do, I want to hit it in like 15 days, then I just double that. So what's funny about that though is that a lot of days I'll go way above and beyond even 3,500 words. Sometimes I'll do 8,000, 9,000 words a day, I've done as many as 20,000 words. One day I actually wrote 30,000 words in one day, and that was to finish. That was to knock out the rest of a book that I had really dragged my feet on. So it's not impossible to do. I mean, it's a grueling day. I start at 4 a.m. So on those days, if I'm really going to put nose to the grindstone and knock it out, I tend to kind of put everything else on hold. So I wouldn't do my normal routine on a day like that. And I clear the day, and I don't check email, and I don't check Facebook. I don't do any of that. So yeah, those are intensive days. I don't do those a lot. Maybe I should. Maybe once a week I should do one of those. I could knock out a book a week that way. What? That would be awesome. I'd be exhausted. I would be so tired. And the rest of my day, right now, it goes into administrative stuff for a bit. I got to write blog posts and check emails and follow up with clients and do client work. Sometimes it's just the guts of my business, which I'm hoping to shift more and more towards being an author. I mean, that's my dream and my goal, and that's the kind of thing I've been building, and I'm getting closer. I mean. I love events like yesterday. I mean, I love going and talking to people about that stuff. I took, and that was it's a small high school that I spoke at. I did a book signing, and I took 50 books with me and came home with 2. So I think I did all right. Anyway, but that was great. I love working with, young people. I love, teaching them about the ideas behind being a novelist, being an author. Some people don't think they have any interest in it until they suddenly, they hear someone like me talk about it, and suddenly that's all they want to do. So, kind of inspiring. I get inspired by doing these talks. So, if you'd like me to come speak at your event or school or in front of a class, let me know. I have. I charge a fee, but it's pretty reasonable, and I'll work with you on a budget if you've got a limited budget. I also like to bring books to sell at the event, so that helps. So just let me know. I'm happy to talk to anybody about this stuff. I also, I offer author coaching and author services. So if you are interested in being an author yourself, let me know. I can help out. I got very reasonable rates. So, speaking of being an author, you can tune in to the Self-Publishing Answers podcast that I co-host with Nick Thacker, who's also an author and another marketing smarty pants. So check that out. And if you like podcasts, and I always recommend podcasts, are sort of this free method of getting as much information in your brain as possible. It's like free books almost, but I also do the Wordslinger podcast, you've probably heard by now, and that one's more story-oriented. I talk to people about whatever their story is. I've got some really interesting interviews coming up. I'm talking to, I just recently spoke with, the most recent interviews are from guys like John Kovalik, who is the cartoonist behind Dork Tower, and a lot of games that you might have heard of and played, like Apples to Apples and Munchkins and Call of Cthulhu and things like that. So I interviewed him a few weeks ago, and that show is up. I interviewed Greg McBride. His interview comes up on Friday, and he's the author of Weightless, and that's a cool cat. And he lost 250 pounds and sort of did the yo-yo diet thing for a long time, and then eventually did a whole lifestyle change, and now he's got the weight off for good. So you might have seen him on news programs and that sort of thing. So big deal. Coming up, I'm interviewing. Well, I unless things fall apart, I'm supposed to interview tonight Vic Mignogna, who is he was the voice of Edward Elric on Cartoon Network's Full Metal Alchemist, and currently one of his projects is he does Star Trek Continues, which is a fan series that features, among other people, it has the son of the original Scotty playing Scotty, which I thought was cool. And some other familiar faces that you probably know. There's a guy, one of the guys from Mythbusters is on there. Grant plays Sulu. So and Vic plays Kirk. So and I think they do a great job. You should check that out. So listen in for that. That's coming up. I'm also interviewing Johnny B. Truant from the Self-Publishing Podcast and author of a few hundred books himself. So it's going to be the next couple of months are going to be really interesting. So tune in. And I'm running a Patreon campaign to support the podcast, by the way, because it does take a lot of time to produce. So if you're interested in helping out, go visit my website, kevintomlinson.com, and there's a button up top that says Fund Me. And you can commit to as little as $1 a month to keep the podcast going and keep all my other efforts going. So anyway, it's all free though. You don't ever have to pay for anything. I'll never charge for the content directly, but if you do want to help out, that's a great way to help out. That's it. This is the first of many of these. I hope I'm going to try to do them far more often and keep them under 15 minutes. So. We will talk to you next time, and I got more exciting things to talk about coming up, including some new books. So, talk to you soon.